My name's Warren Crockett. This is my wife, Sherri Crockett. We've been married for 17 years now. Sherri and I both worked together when I was 17, she was 16. Worked at a movie theater right off of C and Lane. It was our summer job. And it's kind of how it all started.
I thought he was funny. That's why I liked him.
And cute. Don't forget that part. I was pretty much the first guy that she had ever.
I was a shy kind of kid. I didn't venture out too much, and that was my first job. And then it was just, we all got along. Everybody that worked there, we all had a good time. And that's how we dated a lot too. Everybody would go in like a group. We would all go out, and so it didn't look like we were together, because there was other, couples, and so. But yes, I was kind of that way. You don't really tell me what I can do. I just wanted to do whatever I wanted to do, and I liked him, and he was nice and protective, and it was funny, and he reminded me kind of my daddy, and it was just. It worked its way out, and then he asked me to marry him, and we did all of it kind of undercover. It was just it just worked out like that.
I've always told everyone and anybody that will listen, if you're gonna get in an interracial relationship and it's something that you really want, you've got to work twice as hard as the average relationship, because of the things that you're gonna face. I mean, you run the risk of losing your family, your friends. You've got the social pressure. I mean, it's extremely a lot more difficult than just a normal relationship. I mean, I've had offices before where I wasn't really even comfortable with putting pictures of my wife and my kids up, because you're not sure how management or upper management's gonna take that.
Especially back when we were young and we first had kids at our jobs, you were I remember first putting a picture out in is that's your baby, and she was dark caramel. So, yeah, and I'm like, yes, and then it kind of breaks the ice, but you're kind of nervous to put it out like that, when that was back 16 years ago, but yeah. When we got married, actually, it was just both of our mothers were there. Nobody else. Well, we didn't invite anybody else, I don't think. I don't know if they would have came anyway.
We had a small inner circle initially, just due to the fact of the whole interracial deal. Yeah. When we got started, it was different than it is now. Sherri and I, we would go to the mall. She would walk 5 steps ahead of me, that type of stuff. So yes. we had to we kept our relationship in the background, just due to the environment that we were in. And her parents were reluctant initially. Once we got married and they got to meet me and see who I was, and grandkids started coming along, everything pretty much played itself out. Her daddy died in '06, and at the time of his death, I mean, me and him were like best buddies, whereas I didn't meet him until we were married. So right. We went from that point to that point.
We were already married.
Yeah, so.
But it's true, like when we were dating, we didn't hold hands. We were walked apart from each other.
You didn't have any no public display of affection. So. My mother was really worried about us initially, to the fact where she thought somebody was going to come in and slaughter us in the middle of the night and all that kind of stuff. But she was concerned for my safety, not knowing. Like I said, I mean, she didn't meet Sherri's parents until way down the road, and I didn't meet them until we were married. So we really didn't know what we were up against. Not that we were afraid that Sherri's parents were going to hurt us, but we just didn't know. I mean, I moved from Glen Oaks in Baton Rouge, where my parents had lived their whole life, to Prairieville, where they were hosting KKK meetings and stuff. So there was some concern initially on my family's behalf about our safety. I mean, I was concerned. I mean, I used to, have nightmares about someone coming into the house hurting us. And the funny thing too, and it sounds really funny, but when I put my family in a car and we travel somewhere, I make sure that the path is a safe path. We don't go off back roads. We don't do any of that kind of stuff. We don't stop in a little mom and pop gas station off the road or anything like that. We stay on the main highway. And that's due to the fact that there are, you don't know how people feel around the country about our circumstances. I mean, we do not venture off track. So I mean, we say everything's okay, but I mean, we still have those deep-rooted fears regarding. Everybody has fears, but we have those pertaining to our status.
And even like buying a home, nervous about the neighbors, of what they would think, or if they're gonna be ugly. Or
my thing about it all has always been that if I would have had a closed mind, or if Sherri would have had a closed mind, then this wouldn't exist. I wouldn't have met someone that I've been with now for 22 years. I could have been on my third marriage now, or my fourth marriage, but we were open. We saw love, we found love, we embraced love, and I mean, now 22 years later, we've got each other, we've got our family, and it's not something that we feel that we should necessarily promote. I mean, I think it just kind of is what it is. I mean, it's if you find that someone, no matter what race they are, I mean, that's who you love. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, I don't think it's a thing where you need to hang a banner and say, hey, interracial love, all that kind of stuff. But if that happens, then you need to be open-minded enough to embrace it, because with a closed mind, I mean, there's people walking around every single day that's closed-minded that may have possibly passed up on that love of their life for whatever reason. So.